and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon him. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen as he said. Come see the place where the Lord lay. And go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. And they departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word. And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them, saying, All hail. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. Mark's account, and Mark 16. And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome, had bought sweet spices, that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And they said among themselves, Who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre? And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were affrighted. And he said unto them, Be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen, he is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. Our subject for today, a demonstration of man's love and devotion for God. A demonstration of man's love and devotion for God. On that crucifixion day, God demonstrated his love for man. The Apostle Paul said God demonstrated his love for us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. The Apostle says again that he was raised for our justification. When God raised Jesus, it was his love giving us the assurance that our debt had been paid and divine justice had been satisfied. So the crucifixion and the resurrection were demonstration of God's love for mankind. There on that Easter Sunday morning, we see a demonstration of man's love and deep devotion for God in the women that went to the tomb. Now, I don't mean to be chauvinistic by calling what the women did man's love for God. But what the women demonstrated is what all mankind will do if they have love and a deep devotion for the Lord. The first thing we see demonstrated in these women is that love is sedulous. It looks forward to serving the Lord. These women went home after Jesus died, and was put in the tomb, which was a cave. But they didn't go home to stay. They went home looking forward to going back that Sunday morning. They rose early that Sunday morning and bought their spices and prepared them to anoint Jesus' body for its permanent burial. They could not bury him that Saturday because that was a Jewish Sabbath. But the women looked forward to getting there early Sunday morning. Love and devotion to God looks forward to serving him. Love always looks forward to serve. Man and woman that love each other look forward to serving each other. These women looked forward to Easter Sunday morning, where they could render one final act of service for Jesus. Second thing we know about these women is that love and devotion render service when there is no hope of return. The women were not going to worship a living Christ. They were going to anoint the body of dead Jesus. And there was nothing a dead Jesus could do for them. We serve God by serving mankind. And many of the people we serve can't do anything for us in return. Many are lost, they're broken, they're oppressed, they're disenfranchised, they're in need, and they really can't do anything for us in return. But in serving them, we're also serving God. And we love serves God, expecting nothing in return. Then we know that love and devotion for God never retreats because of obstacles. The women talk to themselves along the way. They ask the question, who shall roll the stone away? Before the women left the day of crucifixion, they saw the men roll the stone to the door of the cave. Now, the tomb was not a tomb as we know tombs. It was a cave with an opening, and the stone was wheel-shaped that it could be shoved into the grooves. And the women were there that day, and they saw how many men it took to shove that stone in the groove. And they knew that they did not have the strength to shove that stone out of the groove. And they knew the disciples had left that day, and they were wondering, who shall roll the stone away? They knew that they couldn't do what they intended to do as long as that stone was there. But if you notice, they didn't get an answer to that question. But they kept going. They did not retreat because of the obstacle. They kept on their mission. They kept moving toward the tomb. And that's the way love is. Love and devotion for God will not retreat because of obstacles. The next thing we know is that love and devotion for God will be rewarded by God. Now, we don't serve God for rewards. But when you serve God through love and devotion, then your good intentions will be rewarded by God. On the way to the tomb, the women had a question about the stone. But when they arrived, they us that the stone was already rolled away. It does not mean that God rolled the stone away just for them. The stone was rolled away for anybody that wanted to get in to see the empty tomb. But these women were rewarded in the fact that they got a chance to see the hand of God moving obstacles for them. And it's always a good reward when we can see the hand and the power of God making a way for us, when we can see the hand and the power of God moving obstacles for us, when we can see the hand of God making clear the way so that we can continue our mission. Now, the stone was still there, but it was rolled to the side, which means it was taken out of their way, but it was still there. And this lets us know that God does not have to annihilate, God does not have to completely destroy, God does not have to change or fix whatever is the obstacle. Sometimes obstacles are things, and sometimes obstacles are people, but God does not have to destroy them. God can just move stuff out of your way. It's still there, but it can't do you any harm. It's still there, but it can't prevent you from doing what you went to do. And Matthew says, Mark says that the angel was sitting to the right. Matthew says that the angel sat on the stone. And the fact that the angel sat on the stone was a sign to the women that God has got everything under control. That stone was in your way. It's not in your way now, and God's got it under control. What a joy it is when we realize that God has got the obstacle, God has got the enemy, God has got whatever stands in your way, all under his control. The next reward they received was that they got news better than they expected. They were expecting, yes, to anoint a dead body in a tomb. But instead, they found an empty tomb with a word from the angel that said, now I know who you're looking for. I know you're looking for Jesus that they crucified. I know you're looking for Jesus that died on that cross and that was buried here. I know who you are looking for. You are expecting to anoint his body, but I've got some news for you that's better than you expected. He is not here. He is not here, not because his disciples stole him, as some folks thought would happen, but he is not here because he is risen. And that word risen, that word resurrection means stand back up. Yeah, you saw death take him down. But early this morning, God stood him back up. And that was saying to the women, he is alive. God rewards, loves good intentions by giving us better news than we expected. Looking for a dead Jesus, and they got word that he's alive. And then we know that love for Jesus accepts dangerous missions. The angel, yes, sent the women on a specific mission. Go tell his disciples and that the crucifixion did not bring about a cancellation. The meeting that Jesus scheduled before he died is still on in Galilee. So go tell Peter and the disciples to come too. Now if you notice, the angel specifically said Peter. And you've got to understand that Peter had promised Jesus that he could count on him. He had promised Jesus that the other fellows might flee, but he could always count on him. But when Jesus needed Peter most, Peter failed. And Peter failed while Jesus was looking at him. So you can imagine how Peter was feeling that day. You can imagine how Peter was feeling outcast, and how Peter was feeling guilty, and how Peter was feeling like a nobody. But the angel said, when you tell the rest of them to come, call Peter by his name. They left. They left with fear and joy. And that was perhaps a number of reasons they had fear. But one reason they had fear was that the mission that the angel was sending them on was a dangerous mission. And they had joy because Jesus was alive. They hadn't seen him, they didn't know where he was, but the fact that the angel said he is risen, let them know that Jesus was alive. But that was a dangerous mission because the enemies of Christ did not want the news to get out that Jesus had risen. They didn't want the news to get out that Jesus had conquered death and the grave. They didn't want the news to get out that truth had won out over lies. They didn't want the word to get out that righteousness had won out over evil. They didn't want the word to get out that life had won over death. They were already getting together to plan a meeting to cover up the resurrection. They were already planning and gathering their money to pay a spy, the guards, to lie and say, while you were sleeping, the disciples stole him. They didn't want resurrection to get out. They didn't want Jesus is alive to get out. And here was these women on a mission to tell his disciples that we saw the empty tomb, and the angel said he is risen, which means he's alive. It was a dangerous mission for the women, but they accepted that mission, and they left the tomb on their way to tell the disciples. They left with both fear and joy. But on their way, something happened. On their way, Jesus met them, and Jesus revealed himself to them. And when Jesus revealed himself to them, their fear was replaced by rejoicing. But if you know, Jesus didn't reveal himself to them while they were at the tomb. He revealed himself to them while they were on their mission, while they were on their way to tell the disciples. And this is teaching us that Jesus will not reveal his power and presence to us as long as we are stationary. We must be missionary. We must be on our way. We must be being used in his service. We must be serving him. Although we serve with fear sometimes, if you are serving him, he will reveal his power and his presence to us. And when he did that, these women were filled with rejoicing. They weren't worried anymore about the enemy. They weren't worried anymore about the folks that were trying to cover up the resurrection. They had seen him and heard him for themselves, and they had the power to carry out their mission. When we're on the mission, God will give us what we need to carry out the mission. Their mission was to fallen Peter and fearful disciples. They were on a specific mission. But my brothers and sisters, we're on a resurrection mission also. Our mission is to the entire world. Our mission is to a fallen world, sinking in sin, never ever to rise again. But we have, yes, the same message that the women had. It is ours to tell this fallen world that the crucified Christ, yes, he did die. Yes, he was buried. But it's ours to tell them that God raised him up on the third day morning and he's alive now. It's ours to be on our mission, telling a lost world, telling a broken world, telling a sick world, telling a hurt world that Jesus is alive and he wants to meet with them. When we have love and deep devotion for Jesus, we will be on our mission. Despite the obstacles, despite what the enemy is doing, we will be on our mission telling the world that Jesus wants to meet with you. Jesus wants to forgive you. Jesus wants to take control of your future. Jesus wants to give you a better life. Jesus wants to make you a new creature. Yes, Jesus wants to give you a home in glory. If we love the Lord and are devoted to the Lord, we will be on our resurrection mission. God bless us and God.